Hi everybody. So I've got a question for you. How long would you allow me to repair your car when you get a fault with it? This is an extreme scenario, but it's a story worth telling, and I'd love to know your opinions on it. So let's start at the very beginning. About 4 months ago, beginning of May it was, we sold a Citroen C4 Cactus, and it was a 9-year-old done 80,000 miles. We sold it to a local customer, and within 4 weeks we got a phone call to say that the car wouldn't start. So we replaced the battery, as we expected it would be, and that didn't fix it. So very kindly we got the car recovered, or the customer recovered the car to a garage for us, who did some additional work, and we really could not find why the car would not start. Within a couple of days, we thought this was going to be a bit of a long process. It's like a needle in a haystack. There was no communication with ECU. It would not tell us. There's no warning lights telling us why the car wouldn't start. So now it's a service we don't normally offer. I never offer courtesy cars. However, this was, it's always going to be a little bit trickier. And in order to keep the customer happy, I took a car for forecourt. It was free tax, which is very, very fortunate. And I'd had the car for a little while, not opened the door on it, so similar kind of value. So we lent it to the customer because we didn't know if it was going to be a week or a month before we had the car back. As it turns out, it was even longer. Anyway, so we gave the car to local garage, liked a bit of a challenge. They replaced body control module, start module. Obviously I told you they'd done the battery. They did a bit more research. They sent the ECU off to ECU testing just to see if there was any issues there. The ECU come back, no faults found. That's a good thing or a bad thing. At this point, it's probably a bad thing really, because we're no further forward. And we'd had the car now for about 3.5 weeks. And we decided the best thing to do was swallow a pill and take the car to a Citroen main dealer. Now that Citroen main dealer I've dealt with before, and they were good last time, so we chose Person Luxford in St Ives. We knew it would cost £144 for them to diagnose it, just to put the car in and tell us what the problem is. But we had to swallow it. What else do we do? So we got the car traded to Person Luxford. They advise it's going to be a couple of weeks before they can look at it. Customers happy they've got a car. I'll say happy, but they're satisfied they've got a car. They allowed us to do this. So they had the car, and within a week to 10 days we got a phone call to say that the ECU has blown and you need a new ECU. Okay, well that's not what ECU testing have said, but this is the only fault that they can find was the ECU. And okay, so I asked them how much it would cost, and they said £2,000 for a new ECU, or 2,200 I think it was, plus VAT. So I said, no, not doing that, not doing that. I know that we can get an ECU rebuilt with a company called ECU Testing for a fraction of that price. There's no way in the world I'm spending £2,200 on a new ECU on a car that's 9 years old. So we got the car trailered back to garage, and we decided at this point that we're going to use an auto electrician, because the garage didn't know what to do. This auto electrician is someone I've used before, and he likes a challenge. He really does like a challenge. He's helped me out a couple of times in the last 15 years. So I'm going to have to take it to him. Now, he's not the quickest person. He takes on a lot of jobs that people don't like doing. And this is one of those jobs which is a needle in a haystack. We don't know if he's going to find it in an hour or 100 hours. We have no idea. But we don't really have a choice. So explain this to the customer. Customer, again, has been absolutely fantastic with us. Just get on with it, Ben. Do what you need to do. Brilliant. So where are we at this stage financially? So the garage in Piemore, JR Automotive, absolutely fantastic. I have now spent £677 with them on a body control module, start-stop module, new battery. ECU was sent away to ECU testing to be tested. It's come back okay, and trailer in the car around £677 in total. I've also spent £144 at Purser and Luxford to tell me that the ECU is faulty, which we know isn't or wasn't faulty. So now I'm at the Cambridgeshire Coding. Now Cambridgeshire Coding, based in Haddenham, his name's Paul Hill. Absolutely superb. If you have an issue with your car that garages cannot find a fault, and it's likely to be, an auto electrical issue potentially, he's superb. Can't rate him highly enough. So the car went to him and he said to me, Ben, the ECU isn't communicating anymore. I think Purser and Luxford have blown this ECU. Okay, right. He said, I can't do anything until we can communicate with the ECU. So I advised we send it off to ECU testing, explain to the situation, put a little note in there, explain that they tested it before it's all okay. However, it's now no longer communicating. Please really look into it. And of course, they found the issue. Something had happened. It is now blown, but they can rebuild it with a 12-month warranty for £339 all in and send it back to us. So that's what we did. Got the ECU back, but we are still back to square one. We've now got an ECU that's communicating with us, but we still don't know what the fault is. Then a week or so later, Paul rings me to tell me he's going on holiday for 2 weeks. By now we're like 3 months in. 3 months we've had customers' car. Customers only had the car a month. So I'm trying to pacify him everything I can, but he's been superb. All credit to the customer, he's been absolutely fantastic. It just allowed us to get the car done. He hasn't been on the phone to me all the time. I've updated him when I've had something to tell him. Even if it's been a few weeks, I tell him, I've got no news for you, but I cannot speak highly enough of the customer. He's been fantastic. So Paul goes on holiday for a couple of weeks, and he says when he comes back, he's cleared his yard out, he's going to be on that non-stop. Great, fantastic, thank you very much, Paul. So he comes back from holiday, gives me a call within a couple of days and says to me, Ben, good news, got the car started. It's like, hallelujah. What is it? He said, you never really have known. It took ages to find. I've done lots of things to this car. He said, but it's turned out to be an AdBlue relay. Guess how much the AdBlue relay is? Have you had a guess? £22. £22 has caused all this grief. Now, Paul has very kindly done this as a bit of a deal for us. Now, it has cost me an additional £1,242. That's on top of the 677 and on top of the 144 and on top of the 339. But he has spent well over 50 hours on this car. Well over 50 hours on this car. I've got no idea how many, but he spent a long time. So £1,000 to do this is it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. But how crazy is it? A £22 part can cost £2,500 to diagnose. Now, had I left the car at Purser and Luxford, we'd have spent the £2,200 on a new ECU and we'd have been no further forward. So, question again, customers had a phone call this morning to say that the car is ready and it's all clean for him. We've road tested it, we've done about 70, 80 miles in it. More than happy. It's been 4 months and a week, and he's only had the car a month himself. Would you have allowed me that time to get the car ready?